Welcome to the Women's Table, the place where women are given a seat at the table. Here we have open-hearted conversations about the issues that matter to women. My name is Tina de Keyzer. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Women's Table. Today having a seat at the table is an old friend, Kate Carson. This is actually our third episode together. Kate and I had two talks before about the abortion ban in the US. The first one was in March 2023 and the second one was last year in August. So now another year has passed and here we are again. Kate, welcome. Good to have you back.
It's good to be back. Thank you.
So, in this episode, we will talk about a lot of topics, the everyday consequences of Trump's second term policies, especially for women, of course. This is not just a political discussion, it's about how legislation and rhetoric shape real lives, bodies, and choices. We will use your perspective, if you allow me, as a coach, a mother, and an activist to guide this conversation. So, last year we talked on 22 August, and it was just before the elections. And I think you were quite hopeful.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Everyone in my world was voting for Kamala. Everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just not how it panned out.
No. So when you realized that Trump was going to win, what were you thinking? What was happening with you?
Oh, there's grief. There's grief because I know even before things started happening, I knew many of the institutions I love and care about were really in trouble.
Yeah.
Even things that we didn't talk about, like the national parks in the United States, are one of the things I'm most proud of my country. And even in his last term, he was trying to drill and sell off parts of the national parks, monetize them, things like that. The postal system, U.S. postal system, he tried to destroy it in his first term and he's back at it. So these things that I knew for sure were at risk.
Yeah.
And of course, women, I'm an abortion activist. I knew it was very bad for us.
Yeah.
And then knowing that it would be even worse, Project 2025, having read it has been even worse than I thought, and faster than I thought possible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also what I say. The speed, the fastness of what's happening, it's stunning.
It is. It is. And that's by design. That's the strategy. The strategy is to flood us with far too many things.
Yeah.
If we turn them around, the system, when it works, which it's not working, when it works, if it worked, it would work slowly.
Yeah.
And so some of these would get through. And it's just been, they call it muzzle velocity, which is gun imagery, which of course they do.
Yeah.
It's just like drinking from a fire hose every day and has been every day since January. It's just so much so fast and it's impossible to keep track of it all. As an activist, I have always wanted to be a specialist activist because I always identified that to try to fix all the problems at once was not going to be efficient or effective.
Yeah.
Focused on abortion.
Yeah.
But there are so many things I love and care about in addition to abortion that are being.
Yeah. I get it. So what were the consequences for your work, for your business as a coach, as a guide for pregnant women looking for an abortion? What have been the consequences?
I don't have very many clients right now. The consequence is that my work is drying up.
Yeah.
And it's not that there's any less need. I would say there's actually more need. But there are two major factors that are drying up my work. The first is economic.
Mm-hmm.
We are all bracing for a depression, basically.
Yeah.
Many of the women who would normally come to me have lost their jobs or their husband has lost his job or they've been cut back to fewer hours. I work with a lot of scientists. I work with a lot of doctors. The funding for research in science and medicine is gone, right? Whoever thought that science wouldn't be a reliable profession in America? So there's just less money and less willingness to spend it to help ourselves in ways that aren't absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
economics are bad. The other, though, is that I think the trauma of women going through abortion is higher
Yeah.
because there's so much even more fear, even worse laws. And so everyone's in a freeze state and not getting the help
Yeah.
that they need and deserve.
Yeah.
So between those two things, not wanting to even go out and put your Google search in to try to
Yeah.
find something, not
Yeah.
wanting anyone to find out what's happened,
Yeah.
and being sort of frozen around it.
Yeah.
And then just not being willing to spend money because for understandable reasons, because the
Yes.
economy is very untrustable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much business. I have been continuing to do my volunteer work. So I've been continuing to support women on a volunteer basis in the big group that I lead, and also in a small activist group.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to do several big activism pushes. I went to Washington, D.C. I talked to my senators, to my representatives. I was part of a conference there of abortion stories.
Yeah.
And then I came home and I testified at my state to help. I live in a blue state, meaning we have liberal politics.
Yeah.
And so we are trying to expand care as much locally as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Good for you. Abortion. Of course, news gets around, so it also gets to Europe and the Netherlands. Women in the US dying because of the abortion ban. I got a few names. 20-year-old Amber Thurman, who wanted an abortion, could not get one in Georgia because of the abortion ban. She decided then to go to North Carolina, but due to traffic, she missed her appointment. When she got there, she got 2 abortion pills, and which would be fine, but not all the tissue was removed from her body. So she went to the hospital. They would not help her because the procedure would be the same as an abortion, and she died.
Yes. Yes. And she's not the only one. What we
Yeah.
are seeing is 2 things. First of all, denial of abortion. Pregnancy can be very dangerous to women.
Yeah.
And it can result in infections, in disease that kills us. And that's why abortion is a life-saving intervention
Yeah.
in plenty of cases.
Yeah.
We're also seeing medically mismanaged miscarriages. So women who are miscarrying need the exact same care
Yeah.
that women need who have an abortion
Yeah.
to clear the uterus of the pregnancy.
Exactly.
And we have seen harm, irreparable harm, sometimes death, to women who need abortions that are delayed or denied,
Yeah.
whether for miscarriage or whether for ending the pregnancy that's viable.
Yeah.
And when I was in Washington, D.C. at that storyteller conference, 2 of the women who died in Georgia were represented, one by her mother and another by her sister. And they are understandably and appropriately angry. And they are using this horrible tragedy to try to fight for the daughters, the sisters of everyone yet to come.
Yeah. That's horrible. I also heard, I forgot her name, but I also heard about this woman. She miscarried in the streets. And she was so upset that the remains of the fetus, she threw it in a container bin. And
Yes.
then she was prosecuted. And I think she went to jail. And then eventually she got released.
Yes. Is this from Indiana? I think her name's Prithvi
Could be. Sure.
Patel.
Yeah, could be. Sounds
Yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
I think her last name's Patel, and I think it was in Indiana, and this was several years ago. But there are more cases like this coming all the time. The idea that you could mismanage, I'm using air quotes, that you could mismanage the remains of a stillbirth or miscarriage.
Yeah.
And that, to me, as someone who has been through several pregnancy losses, including miscarriages, it's so disturbing because when you go through a miscarriage in your home, as I have, often we are passing the tissue into the toilet. Often. That's maybe the most common situation because of the way the cramps happen, because of the way the hormones make you have to go to the bathroom. And many of us just flush.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't we? You're sort of in shock and traumatized. And also, there is no baby. There is no, right?
No.
That's what a miscarriage is. It means you don't
Yeah.
have a baby. And then some others retrieve the remains. But then what do you do? What do you do with the remains? It's just not clear what to do. And so And I had a miscarriage at home, and I put the remains in the freezer because I didn't know what to do.
Oh my.
The raw experience to lose a pregnancy.
Yeah.
And to throw the remains in the trash is a perfectly valid thing to do.
Yeah.
And exactly the kind of thing you might do if you were in shock and just didn't want to have just get it off my hands and know what to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything about how you value life. There's no life.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so another woman who made headlines in the news worldwide, Adriana Smith.
Mhm.
Adriana was 9 weeks pregnant after she was declared brain dead. I think she was having blood clots in her brain
Yes.
that caused her brain death. Adriana was kept alive for 4 months so she could deliver her
Yes.
baby. And she was put on a ventilator, I guess, because of the abortion ban in Georgia. Again, Georgia.
Georgia's a hellscape right now. Yes, and to be clear, this was against her wishes and against the wishes of her family. Her
Yeah.
family were suing the state to take her off of life support and let
Yeah.
her pass as she
Yeah.
deserved.
Yeah.
The peace passing. And she was brain dead, so in cognitive ways she was already dead. But they kept her body alive in order to let the pregnancy progress. Now, why did she have blood clots that were allowed to compromise her brain health in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't have adequate prenatal care,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then the state kept her alive. It is absolutely dystopian.
Yeah.
It is absolutely dystopian.
Yeah. And then the baby was born. It was a baby boy. The family called him Chance. And he was born at 25 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Often have problems.
Yeah.
It is considered viable in the system, and yet 25-week infant may or may not have brain damage.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that if there wasn't an abortion ban, for argument's sake, Roe v. Wade is still out there, do you think that the family was within their right to demand her life, her ending her life?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I think in any other case, in consultation with the family, someone who is brain dead can be taken off of life support in any state.
Okay.
And it was only because the state had this philosophical obsession with bringing a fetus to baby, using her body as though they owned it.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's
Horrible.
I have no words. I have no words. Something else. Because you were also mentioning the economy.
Yes.
I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of topics I want to talk to you about. Let's talk about the elections, because during the elections and the debates, Trump said that he talked about tariffs, and he mentioned that tariffs would be paid by the foreign countries.
Yes.
Okay, so people believed it. People believed him. Now it appears, oh my, who's paying for the tariffs? The consumers are, the businesses are.
Of course. You raise the cost of the process of selling something at any location, at any time in the process.
Yeah.
Of course, the price gets raised for the consumer. How else will the system continue?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, things are expensive. Things are about 50% more expensive.
Yeah. So businesses are going bankrupt.
Yes.
People are being laid off. What I don't understand is that how could people actually believe that they would not be the one to pay for the tariffs?
I don't know. It is not a very thoughtful position. And part of me thinks the way Trump's followers follow him feels extremely cult-like to me.
Yeah.
There's very little critical thinking. It is incredibly identity-based. People like us do things like this. And there's just this idea of, oh yeah, stick it to the foreigners. It's very xenophobic culture.
Yeah.
And if he says it, they'll do it. If anyone else said it, they might think critically about it, but they love him so much
Mm.
That if he says it, they'll do it.
Yeah.
And so you see examples of, and these are not in my personal network because my personal network is full of critical thinkers and also tends very liberal.
Yeah.
But you see examples of business owners from places that are more conservative being then sort of shocked and appalled
Yeah.
that these policies go ahead that hurt them and hurt
Yeah.
their business.
Yeah.
When he's supposedly, I have to air quote everything he says because it doesn't make any sense. It's nonsense. He's not pro business.
No, he's not.
He's pro his business. He's
Yeah.
pro wherever his money is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, but I also hear that Trump and his administration are losing ground. They are losing their support. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yes, I believe that's true. I believe
Yeah.
they're really unpopular. They'll still have that pocket of zealots who support them no matter what, the cult,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But they could not win on the cult alone. This
No.
is something you and I talked about last
Yeah.
time, is how if democracy here were pure democracy and every vote got counted the same and there were
Mhm.
none that were weighted and everyone got to vote easily,
Yeah.
he could not win. He
Yeah.
could not win.
Yeah.
But because of the strategy games they play,
Yeah.
and because of the way it's weighted to favor particularly rural areas,
Mhm. Mhm.
he won
Yeah.
because they played the game
Yeah.
and they stacked the deck
Yeah.
in ways that are legal, and
Yeah.
some of us suspect perhaps also in ways that are illegal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because talking about the bromance between
Gosh.
Trump and Elon Musk. I mean, Musk spent, I think it was $200 million on the election for
Yes.
Trump. And after the breakup, he tweeted that Trump would not have won without me.
You know, I wonder, it might be true, and it's certainly it seems very corrupt. There was a Supreme Court case, I believe it's called Citizens United,
Mhm.
in which in America, and this is not that recent. It's within my lifetime, but it's maybe 20 years old.
Okay.
The Supreme Court basically said that money counts as free speech. So if you have money, you can throw as much of it as you want at elections because that's free speech, which
Okay.
is problematic
Yeah.
because if money is free speech, then some people have more free speech than others have, which is
Yeah.
not in the spirit of our country. It's not in the spirit of our Constitution. But if that's the law of the land, what Elon did may be legal,
Mhm.
even though it's highly, I don't know, it leaves me feeling sort of disgusted.
Yeah.
But also the technology of the voting machines he's tied up
Yeah.
in, there are lawsuits tied up around that. It's a mess. It's a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, I also heard that the Trump administration is losing it over the Epstein files.
Well, isn't it interesting that on his side, a lot of his most fierce advocates are big time conspiracy
Yeah.
theorists.
Yeah.
And their favorite conspiracy has to do with Hillary Clinton and pedophilia. When, like,
Yeah.
who's the pedophile?
Yeah.
I mean, Epstein absolutely, absolutely dealt in underage girls
Yeah.
in ways that are just horrifying. Really, sexual slavery, human trafficking, and minors,
Yeah.
girls,
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And Trump was absolutely involved in that. And I don't understand how that surprises anyone,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a big deal. He keeps trying to evade it and trying to not have them published. One wonders, though, if his base will even blink an eye if it is published. It's hard. It seems hard for him to lose his cult.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, Trump in the media, because the way I see it, this is just my humble and personal opinion. Trump is actually the laughing stock at this moment, globally, around the world. People like Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, the Mycelis brothers of the Midas Touch, were a huge fan of them. They all make fun of him. And there's also, I'm not sure if you heard of her, Lissandra Vasquez. She who makes a joke out of Caroline Levitt. She
Mm.
pretends to be a Caroline Levitt. She's really funny. So I remember that I think it was Pete Buttigieg,
Mhm.
and he said that Trump knows exactly what he's doing, even if he seems confused. He knows what he's doing. Everything he says is a distraction of something that is actually going on. So I was wondering, because he hasn't been seen for a few days.
Right.
He's not talking to the media when he's in public. And the speculations are really wild. They're wild. I heard talk about he could have had a stroke or TIA. What do you think is going on? Is something going on with Trump, or is this another distraction?
It is really hard to say, because I do believe that Trump isn't the buffoon that he makes himself out to be. I
Yeah.
also believe that he is not very well physically,
Yeah.
and that he's getting older every day,
Yeah.
and that, dementia creeps
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I know he loves attention.
Mm-hmm.
So to have him drop off, it's like, well, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of person who, when his whole PR team is like, don't say anything, he just gets
Yeah.
on Twitter and he's like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It will be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I do think that when people say he's talking nonsense, so Tina, I'm always educating myself. I'm always doing self-improvement to be a better coach, always. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the courses I'm taking right now is in hypnosis, because I work a lot in trance state, because this is to help people. This is hypnosis healing. This is
Yeah.
not to manipulate people.
Yeah. Okay.
But I notice in my hypnosis course that a lot of the things he does are straight out of the hypnotism book.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So the way he does the mudras with his hands, some of that is hypnotic
Mm-hmm.
with his tiny hands. Some of the, particularly when he talks nonsense, it doesn't even make any sense. And you're like, what
Yeah.
the hell is he saying? Don't listen to that. The human subconscious is extremely susceptible. If you say a bunch of stuff we don't understand, and then you say one thing we can make sense of, we will latch onto it as though it's true. So
Yeah.
when he's saying gobbledygook nonsense, wait until the first thing he says that you can make sense of in your brain.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what it is,
Yeah.
because he's trying to plant it in your subconscious as truth.
Yeah.
He's trying to get it past the critical thinking gatekeepers. So
Mm-hmm.
these are ways in which I do think he knows more than he seems to know. I do
Yeah.
think he's not just a complete idiot.
Yeah.
I also think he's an idiot. But I think that he is using hypnotic techniques that
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
idiocy.
Yeah.
I think he's incredibly proud, and I think that's his Achilles heel. The way he
Yeah.
kowtows to Putin, I think that it's like, who can flatter him the most is
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
That's a way in which I think he's an idiot. I don't think he's very smart.
No.
But the way in which he manipulates groups of people around him, I think, is quite smart.
Yeah.
And on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you watch The Apprentice on Netflix?
I never have watched The Apprentice.
Oh, you should. You should.
I should.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. Because his mentor is Roy Cohn. And when you watch The Apprentice, you totally get how he's become the person he is today. And I also think that because Cohn blackmailed everyone. He blackmailed everyone. He gave huge parties, made videos of the parties, and they weren't playing cards. If you get my drift. Yeah. So he made videos, he had audio recordings of everyone, of judges, of lawyers, of everyone of significance. And the way I see it, but again, this is just my view on this, is that because the way the Republican Party defends him,
Congress, senators,
praises him.
Congressmen. This is the part that has shocked me, Tina, is that
Exactly.
if our Congress were working, this could not be happening.
Yeah.
He could not just, the president is not a king. The
No.
president cannot just do whatever
Yeah.
he wants.
Exactly.
The president is 1/3 of the government. And a very important third that polices him is the Congress.
Yeah.
Why are they not doing their jobs? And I
Yeah.
have thought the same thing as you have, Tina. Who's blackmailing you?
Yep.
Who is threatening you? Who is
Yeah.
blackmailing you? What is
Exactly.
going on?
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I
Yeah.
know you don't believe this is okay.
Yeah.
And yet,
Exactly. Yeah. And you should watch. You should watch The Apprentice. And I think that he's got a lot of dirt on a lot of people.
yes, yes. I think that must be it. Otherwise, I just don't understand
Yeah.
how bad people are if
Yeah.
they're not acting out of fear right now.
Yeah. They are. They are. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but may I have your attention for just a sec? Are you enjoying this episode? Then please hit the subscribe button. It is completely free and it really helps us to keep creating inspiring conversations. Thank you. People losing healthcare, their
Yes.
retirement, Republicans claiming that prices are going down, but my American friends tell me that this is not true. This is not the case.
Prices are going up. And you can see it. You can feel it. Everything's expensive.
Yeah. So I heard this woman in this discussion group on Facebook, and I read about this. This woman said something, she wrote something, and it really hit me. And because we had a discussion about MAGA, the cult MAGA. And she said, because someone said, I just don't understand. Mind the word, understand. I don't understand how they can support him. But it doesn't matter what he does, they do support him. And then she said, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. She said, don't try to understand them because they don't care. They rather live in poverty than vote for a Black Asian woman who can better their lives,
Yeah.
who can provide a better life for them, but they rather live in poverty and misery than voting for a Black woman.
I think that's true. I also think they believe things that aren't true as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think that they are really misinformed.
Yeah.
I think they feel there's no place for them, and Trump gave them a place.
Yeah, I agree.
The identity politics are really dangerous.
Yeah. I've got a British friend, and we talked about Trump and Obama. And I said, I don't understand. I just don't get it that after Obama, America, the land of the free, with all the possibilities where even a Black man could become president, what happened? And he said, well, listen to yourself. The country where a Black man became president, because there were people who did not identify with Obama. For a lot of people, it was a blessing that Obama became president. But for a lot of white people, it was a nightmare. It was a horrible thing that a Black man became president. Do you think that it's a backlash that Trump won after Obama?
So I love Obama.
Yeah, me
First,
too.
I miss him.
Yeah,
I could listen to him and to Michelle Obama all day.
Yeah,
Beautiful orators, deep thinkers,
yeah,
really the kind of leaders that I want.
yeah.
And it's important for me to say a lot of white people feel that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when there are those who are just so racist that they couldn't stand it.
Yeah,
That is true. There are also those who might not think they're racist.
yeah.
I think that we came to an extreme point recently. This isn't even under Obama. This is much more recently. This is since COVID.
Mhm.
I think we came to an extreme point in America where white people were being asked to apologize for being white.
Okay.
And I say that as someone from a liberal place, from a very highly educated place.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen. I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
And to say to you, I think it's stupid, I could lose friends, Tina. This
Yeah.
is real. There are social repercussions for me having a moderate viewpoint on this.
Yeah.
But that was where the culture was going on the left.
Okay.
So when I see backlash, and I want to give people a little credit here, I think they're backlashing to that. I think they're backlashing to, what do you mean I have to apologize for who I am?
Yeah.
I am not responsible for atrocities, right? And I think a lot of the people who backlashed against there's no place for, to be clear, I'm not saying there's no place for me as a white woman. I basically just took what fit and left the rest. If I didn't want to apologize for my race, I didn't apologize for my race, right? I just went into the parts of the conversation that I thought were productive and I participated there. I care about racial justice a lot.
Yeah, I
right?
know. I know.
But also, I understand how bad it feels to be made guilty for who you are.
Yeah.
And so when we look at the more moderate right voting for him, that's what I think the
Yeah.
backlash.
Yeah.
There are also pure racists in there
Of
who are
course.
backlashing to Obama. Absolutely. Right? Who would
Yeah.
never vote for a minority woman to ever, right?
Yeah.
But I do want us to think about just going forward. We're really not to the point where I think the left has to do a lot of what did we do wrong. We just have to save our democracy right now, okay? We all have
Yeah.
to be together
Yeah.
and save our democracy. But
Yeah.
20 years out, 30 years out, if we save our democracy, the thing to do is to invite everyone into it,
Yeah. I
right?
agree.
And then you don't have this guilt.
Yeah.
The whole white guilt thing, it's not helpful. It's
No.
not helpful. And what you
No.
get is a backlash because it feels bad.
Yeah.
Let's not do that anymore.
No. No. I agree. I agree. Yeah. So I read, because I'm following the news in the US really badly at this moment. So there was talk about Kamala Harris running for governor of California. She said that she wouldn't.
Yes.
So that came also, of course, with a lot of speculation. Will she run again in 2028? I heard other names like AOC, Jasmine
Mhm.
Crockett, Pete Buttigieg, and I think Cory Booker.
Yep.
And of course, the new rising star, Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
You know, let me tell you this, and this is absolutely true. I predicted in 2023 that Biden would withdraw from the re-election.
Wow.
I did. But I told William, my husband, I told him he will push Gavin Newsom to be the Democratic candidate for presidency.
Oh my goodness.
I
You're
did.
a good consultant.
I should have been consulted. He should have given me a call.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, because I'm a huge fan of Harris. I really, oh my, from the Netherlands, I rooted for her.
I love her. I
Ah,
love her.
you know, so do you think that, of course, I believe that he is fighting for democracy. Let me get that straight. But do you also think that he is preparing for his candidacy in 2028?
Gosh, it looks like that.
Yeah.
I am not as good a predictor of politics as you are. So don't go based on what I say. But I would say that, yeah, that's sort of how it looks right now. I would also say that the Democrats have this thing where we like to say safe, which is not really serving
Yeah.
us well,
Yeah.
honestly. He would be a safe choice.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. That's what I said. Yeah. Because we talked about Harris as well in 2023. Why wouldn't Kamala Harris be a good choice for the presidency? And I said, well, she's a black woman.
Mhm.
That's just one reason. Not my reason, because I thought, because she was all as a vice president, she was already doing great things, but she did not get the credits for the things she did. And so I was in 2023, I was going for the safe part, I think. Gavin Newsom, he's a young guy, he's in his 50s, I believe. He's not bad looking, he's quite good looking, he's educated, he speaks well, he speaks in full sentences.
The tech bros like him.
Yeah,
Money is free speech.
yeah,
The
yeah,
tech bros have an awful lot of free speech.
yeah, yeah. So, but if he would run for the presidency,
Mhm.
where would that leave Harris, according to you? Do you think she
I
still have a
don't
shot?
know. I don't know. I think I would doubt that she'd even try.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that it's such a push to run for president
yeah. Again,
again and to feel like it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
especially if you get discouraged from your party, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens. I hope
Yeah.
not, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I actually if she's on the ballot, I'll be a little surprised.
okay. Yeah. Okay. So what about the others, the other names I just mentioned? AOC?
It certainly feels like AOC has been playing the media game towards presidency the entire time she's been on the scene.
Yeah.
So maybe it's her time.
Yeah. But do you think that the Democrats should take the risk pushing another woman forward for the candidacy, another woman of color?
I mean, look, I'm not the one to ask because I'm not a strategist. I always think the best person should be pushed to the front, and I
Yeah.
think she's a great person. I
Yeah.
think she'd be a very interesting choice. I wouldn't mind seeing her. She is very dividing. So is it her do I think she's the best strategic choice? No.
No. Okay.
Does that mean I wanna keep her off the ballot? Of course not. I want
No.
especially in the primary, I want everyone on the ballot. I wanna see who shakes out.
Okay. So who would be your first choice?
Oh, I don't have one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who would be my first choice? I have been sort of unplugged from politics except where I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm aware of these people tweeting and showing up and everything, haven't formed an opinion yet, and I haven't formed a choice yet. I would
Yeah.
sort of like to see someone totally new.
Okay.
And would I like it to be a woman? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Of all the names we've mentioned, Pete Buttigieg is my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's one of the strongest feminists of
Yeah.
the bunch, too.
Yeah. But, I'm not sure if, and I say this, of course, as a non US citizen, but I'm not sure if the US is ready for a male gay president.
Right. It's just discouraging
Yeah.
to feel like progress is a liability.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about Heather Cox Richards?
I like her.
I like her too. I want her as president. I think talk about out of left field, but she
Yeah.
knows about it and she's committed to it and she's got the soul. The soul of her position is right.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. So I'm really curious, but I was thinking that Gavin Newsom is already rallying for 2028. So what do
It's
you think about Jasmine Crockett?
I don't know. This is a name is not in my rotation. Tell me. Give me some
Okay. Yeah, she's a black woman
Mhm.
and she's very loud, but she's right on spot. I think that I like her a bit more than AOC.
Okay, she's a representative, you're
Yeah,
saying.
she is.
Okay.
Yeah. Jasmine
Yeah.
Crockett.
What
And
state is she from?
yeah,
Texas. Ooh, yeah.
yeah,
That sounds great. Let's
yeah,
get a Texan in there who is
yeah.
loud and outspoken and
Yes, she's
talking
loud, she's
feminine.
outspoken, and I love her to pieces. I do. She was the other night, she was a few months ago, she was with Stephen Colbert. And the two of them, they make an amazing couple. And I also heard that because I'm sure you heard that CBS has let Colbert go.
Yes, I have heard that.
Yeah, they canceled the show. And I heard rumors that Stephen Colbert is teaming up with Jasmine Crockett, with Rachel Maddow, and
Oh, yeah, Meadows, she's another good one.
yeah, Rachel Maddow and Joy and
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'd watch
yeah.
that.
Me
Honestly,
too.
I wouldn't mind having a comedian run for president at this point.
Yeah. Well, you do have a clown for president, but he's not funny.
No, he's the worst. Clown is the
Yeah.
worst of all
Yeah.
worlds.
Yeah. But, I also see that Americans are calling for the 25th. But if that happens, JD Vance becomes president. And I'm not really sure if America will be better off with Vance.
He's awful. I mean, and he's more philosophically anti-women.
Yeah.
Trump is sort of just, like, chaotically anti-woman, and, like, he's sort of a threat to us
Yeah.
from a sexual violence perspective,
Yeah.
but JD Vance more is like, women shouldn't have rights.
Yeah.
He actually believes that on a deeper level.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about Usha Vance? Because I think she was a high class lawyer. before he ran for vice president. And now she got a lot of backlash for that because he was talking about bitter childless ladies. And then one day from one day to another, she just got home, and now she's a stay-at-home mom.
Huh. Huh. Yeah. That's, as a relationship coach, I'm really worried about a lot of the women who are not really
Yeah,
in the picture. I'm really worried about the women who are married to these men.
yeah. But what about the women who are supporting him, like Caroline Levitt, like Christine Nome, Pam Bondi, his Secretary of State? What about those women?
There's this phenomenon where when you're not in power, when you're below in the power structure,
Mm-hmm.
to fight for your own power is not as easy as aligning yourself to powerful people and getting yourself in that way. And that's what I think of them. I think they are playing the game.
Yeah,
And there's a way in which it's strategic and there's a way in which it's smart, but it throws us all under the bus pretty hard. And
yeah.
whether it comes from just self-servingness, like
Mm-hmm.
really shrewd self-care, or whether it comes from really low self-esteem as women, I don't
Yeah,
know. But I do, there are some people in my personal network. I was a teacher for years, so I've got like hundreds of students, right?
yeah,
Some of them are big Trump supporters, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised. And I don't know. I think it comes down to that identity. People like us do things like this. People like us do things like this. So if what you want is belonging with your husband, if what you want is belonging with a certain group, if you feel wronged, talk about wronged. Tulsi Gabbard. If you feel
oh
wronged,
my,
if you've had your feelings hurt by
yeah.
a different group,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be much more open. So I'm not saying, I don't think they're stupid. I don't think women are stupid. And I don't think that there's only one right opinion. But I look at the women who support Trump and I think, what has gone on in your life
Yeah,
that you got to the point where you said, people like
yeah,
me do this?
yeah. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened in their lives. I do know one woman who does not support him, and that's his wife.
Oh, I know. I know.
Where
It's
is
been
Melania?
it's been so disturbing to see the photographs of her as a teenager
Yeah,
at Epstein's parties.
yeah,
And just, I don't know the first thing about Melania, except I know that she was trafficked to the United States.
yeah.
That's, or I infer, I read it between the lines. I doubt she likes him very much.
Oh my. I think that's an understatement. Yeah.
And so I don't know about her.
Other people who are also not very supportive of him are his own children, because
Yeah.
during his first term, they were really present. They were there. Ivanka had this special position, this special whatever she was. And except for Eric, who praises him on social media and in public, I don't see his children anywhere. So,
Well, can you imagine having him as a father? Can you imagine?
yeah,
He's, he seems, I know this word gets used a lot, but he sure seems like a narcissist to me.
yeah,
I don't use that word a lot,
no,
but I will use it to him.
yeah,
And growing up with parents of that description is not very good for children.
no. I do feel for Baron, though. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel for Baron. I don't know him. I have, yeah, yeah. Okay, so wrapping up, two questions
Yes.
for you. What would you like to say to the die-hard mega supporters? Is there anything, if there is anything you would like to say to them or like to ask them, what would it be?
I'd have to start with asking because I don't think anything I say would get through until I'd heard what they had to say.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to ask them about, I want to ask them about ICE and family values. I
Yeah,
want to ask them about tearing hardworking people out of our communities.
yeah,
I want to ask them about how that is for children and how they can stand for it and what it means to them and why are they so hateful of immigrants?
yeah,
What is it they don't like? I don't
yeah,
get it. So someone speaks Spanish. What's wrong with that?
yeah,
My ancestors spoke Italian. My ancestors spoke Swedish.
Yeah.
There are very few of us whose ancestors were born here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's end with, I don't know, maybe a little ray of hope. What would you like to say to our listeners in the US? The ones that might have lost hope, maybe the ones that still have a little bit of hope. What would you like to say to them?
We're not dead yet. I'd like to say, look, this is really bad.
Yeah.
We're in a lot of danger. Our democracy is in a lot of danger, but I'm up here talking about it, which means it's not fascist yet.
Yeah, that's true.
There is no way I could just come on this show and say my name and say all the things I've said today.
Yeah.
If we were too far gone yet. And it's up to us. It's up to us. These protests are good. Keep doing them.
Yeah.
If you're not a protester, vote. Talk to people. Have the conversations. If you're a good listener, listen, because that matters. Right? We all bring something. Bring it for democracy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you for being here again, for your honesty, for taking the time, for the risk of putting yourself on the line, because for speaking up, for speaking out. Before we got on air, I said to you that I think you are a brave woman for coming on the show talking about this. No, and maybe the US is not a fascist country yet, but I do think you put yourself on the line, and
it feels scarier than it did a year ago.
Yeah. I think you're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any new episodes of The Women's Table. And if you find our podcast valuable, please leave us a rating with a lovely number of stars. That will really help us to reach more listeners. My name is Tina de Keyzer. Thank you for listening to The Women's Table.